What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and as more information is coming out about it, just exactly the tactics that were used by, how do I say this, elderly journalist Taylor Lorenz, the tactics that were used by her to publicly dox the private living home of the creator of the Libs of TikTok account, a Jewish woman who just posts memes, posts uncut TikTok videos in her spare time. This is somebody that was so dangerous to the narrative that they must be unmasked, so to speak. And elderly Taylor Lorenz marched her little pink iPhone up to the family homes of the creator and runner of the Libs of TikTok account to verify the identity so that she could be, in my opinion, bullied, harassed, and put in direct danger, given what we know about the type of people that are targeting her. And now she's reaping the whirlwind. You see Mike Cernovich calling her an anti-Semite, Taylor Lorenz, an anti-Semite who previously targeted the Geller daughters, identified Libs of TikTok as an Orthodox Jew, a detail completely irrelevant to the story. That is interesting. For me, I thought it was interesting that she thought that this woman's name was relevant to the story. I mean, you can certainly profile a Twitter account, profile their impact, profile the things they do without naming them specifically. Now, Count Dankula said I can't say the meme, so I'm not going to say the meme, but Taylor Lorenz literally named, anyway. So Christina Pasha, and by the way, Shuan had made the same joke, so don't get all antsy in your pantsy, all right? Not you, my viewers, but, you know, patently bigoted, a lot of people. And here, earlier today, Crab Crawler 1, somebody I definitely recommend following, sent me the receipts. Former Twitter employee actually assisted Taylor Lorenz, elderly woman Taylor Lorenz, in the doxing of Libs of TikTok. And you can see how they brag about it. Here's Travis Brown. Pro tip, if you want to run a viral moral panic account for the worst people on earth and stay anonymous, maybe start whatever you're doing from scratch instead of whatever the F this is. This is Travis Brown showing the history of the Twitter accounts. The Libs of TikTok Twitter account used the screen name, I'm not going to say it, until later in February, they used the name, another name, is on the domain registrar for libsoftiktok.us. Nobody has been doxxed here. Well, I suppose it's funny, like, you know, I think if you constantly find yourself in the position where you're having to complete Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to try and prove to people that something you're doing isn't doxing, it probably is. It's probably close enough. For most people, the definition of what Taylor Lorenz did was doxing. She took somebody, a woman, a Jewish woman in this case. I don't know what Taylor Lorenz's problem is with Jewish women, but anyway, who was not openly public about their name, did not interact as their name online, was an anonymous account, and shared it. Just because someone who's technologically savvy and can do a who is lookup on a domain name, found their name, doesn't mean that the creator of Libs of TikTok wanted their name out there. This is how I think most people would define being doxxed, and it's a fine description for me as well. Now you could see Taylor Lorenz, of course, immediately pivoting, as predicted by me earlier today, to being the victim. Meredith Shiner writes, "It's wild to me that the institutions that have employed Taylor Lorenz, elderly woman Taylor Lorenz, to do important reporting on influential dark places." Yes, she reports on teenagers on TikTok. She's really out there doing the will of the people. Dark places, no, Tim, I'm not going to pay you for saying that word. Dark places on the web that are reshaping our society are fundamentally incurious about the organized online campaigns against her, who coordinate them, and why. Well, maybe, you know, yes, if it's wrong when one quote-unquote side does it, it's wrong when the other quote-unquote side does it. But elderly woman Taylor Lorenz certainly does this exact same thing. She hasn't stopped doing it, so she seems clearly fine with it. She replies, "For what it's worth, Washington Post has been great. My editor totally gets it, and the managers have been so supportive. I'm not even pressed about any of this stuff." Really, Taylor Lorenz, elderly woman Taylor Lorenz? I'm going to drop that. I'm going to keep forgetting it. Didn't you go on CNBC and literally cry tears that you were having to suffer through PTSD? So which is it? Are you suffering from PTSD, or are you not even pressed about this stuff? Idiots online can whine all they want and post wild lies about me. I'm not posting a lie. It's my opinion that you're a garbage human. It's just my opinion. I'll keep doing my stories. Hope you're staying strong out there. Like, are you joking? I'm not pressed about any of this stuff. Is this you? Literally, Taylor Lorenz, is this you, bro? Then they also post, essentially, as retweeted by Senators, "We are going to falsely accuse you," quote, "journalistic ethics." Here's a DM shared by the official Libs of TikTok account. "Congratulations on 732,000 followers. Taylor Lorenz harassed an account yesterday with a similar name. In a desperate attempt to fish for information, she threatened the account that they will be implicated as, quote, starting a hate campaign against LGBTQ people if they don't respond to her. Hi, so-and-so, I'm just following up here. You've been mentioned as the administrator of the Libs of TikTok account on Twitter, and I need to turn my story in today." Meaning, I'm going to publish it with or without your words, because that's what urinalists do. She continues, "Is this your account? Please let me know ASAP, because you're being implicated as starting a hate campaign against LGBTQ people. If you're unaffiliated with the account, I want to be sure to set the record straight." So essentially what this woman is saying, empty egg carton Taylor Lorenz is saying here, is that she is going to implicate her unless she comes out to deny her connection. Essentially, Taylor Lorenz is going to say maidenless Taylor Lorenz is going to say, "I'm going to implicate you in some sort of campaign unless you go out of it." What if you didn't check your DMs? I don't check my DMs on Instagram. And again, a Twitter employee was the one that helped her do this. Seth Dillon writes, "The exposure of Libs of TikTok isn't journalism. It's pure intimidation. They're threatened by her effectiveness, so they hope to silence her by making her too afraid to continue. They want to raise the cost of her doing work so that she has no choice but to quit. But I think they'll be surprised by her resolve. She's afraid as anyone would be in these circumstances, but she's determined to not be bullied, threatened, or harassed into silence. That takes remarkable courage that few people possess. I think they'll also be surprised by the support she receives. I want them to know that she won't be canceled from her job because this is her job now. I've worked out a deal with her that will turn her heroic high-risk work into a career." Seth Dillon at the Babylon Bee essentially saying, hey, I've offered her a job. This is exactly how we win. There's articles. This one by the Red State, Brandon Morse. Thank you, Taylor Lorenz. It's a well worth read. In the world where content is king, I'm always appreciative of those who give me something to talk about, whether it's an article or for a live stream. The account Libs of TikTok is a treasure trove of content that gathers and posts bizarre videos from radical leftists and protected groups that fall under their intersectional umbrella. They don't edit it in any way. They just rip it and post it. The most they add is a little blurb for the tweet. They don't need to add anything. The content speaks for itself. And this is a great article that goes on to basically say, Lorenz, in her attempt to silence her own side by attacking the woman who runs Libs of TikTok and attempting to intimidate her into silence, only helped make them heard even more. If anything, we should be grateful to Lorenz for her service, and if anything, the left should be absolutely furious with her for leading more people to the Libs of TikTok account. Moreover, she did it in a way that triggers a sort of Streisand effect, pushing people to seek out what it is that they aren't supposed to see. Lorenz may be today's biggest loser, but that doesn't make her any less than a hero. Good article to read by Brandon over at Red State. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.